activate that for our listeners out there. And we're going to talk about the Every Man a Warrior event that is coming up. And you don't want to miss this. Over the next couple of minutes, we're going to be talking with these two individuals, Erin Doan from Erin Doan State Farm Insurance, Pastor Ryan from Cornerstone Baptist Church there. And this morning, this is an opportunity for you to think about an event where you get to share, you get to listen, you get to connect, you get to network with other individuals. And we're going to break down where it's going to happen, what time, how you can register for it, and so much more. So, Erin, I'll start with you for just a moment here. And thanks for coming in this morning. Let's talk about this event. And it's not just a one event that was created here in Ludington. This is the kind of a network of events that happen throughout the country and maybe even farther than that, right?
It's actually an event that's going on throughout the world to bring men together and just to try to build up some values and morals and just have men to really be good leaders in their homes, as a husband and, as a father. So just a really good, encouraging place to try to learn some good things that we don't always, learn about. And perhaps that wasn't something that was in our home to have some of those good things, necessarily always taught to us.
And Pastor Ryan, just to kind of dovetail off of that, you interact with many individuals that struggle from time to time, right? You get to enjoy their triumphs, like a new addition to their family and marriage and everything else that goes along with that family environment at church. But you also share in some of those moments of concern, of struggle, of heartache, and everything else that goes along with it.
Right. And Chris, if we're honest, we all struggle. So it's not just some people. And so this Every Man a Warrior is a great tool because it really helps focus you with a small group of men where you can build some really quality relationships. And that's one of the things I really appreciate most. And of course, Jesus Christ is going to be in the center of those relationships. So how can I have a better relationship with God? And how is that going to impact me leading my family if I have a family? How is that going to help me to be a better worker? How can I also be a better dad if I have children? So it's really, no one's perfect, and we're all in a journey, but you have to start your journey with one step. And this is a great way to explore, if you want to be influential in all those different areas, this would be a great place to take a step.
So let's break it down, and it's a question for either one of you, whoever wants to take this, is that, good morning, there you go, is what's the difference between Pastor, I'll send it to Pastor Ryan for the first part, and Erin, if you want to add to it, what's the difference between a normal sermon that is focusing on relationships and men in general and their role and how they can be a better person in general. The difference between that and this event that we're talking about this morning.
Yeah. So in the middle of your sermon, if you go to church and you hear the pastor say something it's like, what in the world was that?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have a chance to ask a question. It's like, hey, pastor, hold up. I just want to know right now, what are you talking about when you mentioned this? And Every Man a Warrior is it's not just it's not a lecture. It's building relationships, asking questions, doing some work prior so you're ready to talk about some really important concepts from the Bible, and that will really help you in life. And so I firmly believe that the Bible does change your life because Jesus is involved in it. And my life is being changed by that.
Absolutely, and we're glad to be able to share this this morning with our listeners that are tuning in both on air and online this morning. Erin, your involvement, your encouragement, why do this in Ludington, and what's the foundation that you want to plant here, if you don't mind sharing this morning?
Absolutely, I think for me it's just this element of watching what's happening in men's lives and kind of being concerned about, what we're seeing in homes and some of the frustration that I think parents are having and in the spaces of, their kids, perhaps being online too much, or, getting in trouble or being into drugs, and kind of how to handle that space. Or perhaps there's a really big conflict in their relationship with their wife or significant other, and they tried everything, and they're just, what do I do, and how do I talk this through? So what I think is nice, I'm a leader in Every Man a Warrior, and so to meet with men and have these conversations, and it's not as though I'm taking this complete teacher role. There's great interaction about real life topics and trying to talk them through, and using the Bible and the basis of the Bible and some of the scripture to not be condemning or, to hurt anyone, but more to be encouraged and be challenged by what it says, and try to live as better men, to be more empathetic in the home and with kids, to be, just a good vocal leader that doesn't just always scream and rant and rave, but just to try to get in those places where you can just lead better, serve your family, take care of your wife, significant other, and love on them. And this is a place to learn how to do that better.
And Pastor Ryan, this morning, when you listen to Erin say this, does this align with what you experience as the head of the church here for Cornerstone? And what do you? And the second part of that is, what do you expect to come out of this event, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, well, I'm the associate pastor, so Pastor Joel is my boss.
Okay,
so
sorry. I didn't mind.
It's okay.
Made oversight.
Hey, good morning, Pastor Joel.
That's
anyway,
right.
Yeah, so it aligns with our church and what we want to see happen, because we really need to be. I mean, Jesus said, "Make disciples." Mm-hmm. So what in the world is that? Well, it's someone who's a learner and keeps on learning. And we build one another up. And so, if Aaron were in my group, he's not. It would be cool if he were. But we're in different churches and working together on this whole project. Mm-hmm. We would be building each other up. I would be benefiting from Aaron, and Aaron would be benefiting from me. And one of the guys, we had a new group just start. A guy has not really been reading the Bible, not really plugged into a church. And it's like he was fearful. I could tell he was nervous, but he was really put at ease, because we're going to go slow. Mm-hmm. It's gradual. If you don't know where your books of the Bible are, who cares? We can work through it together. Yeah. It's a gradual, it's a step-by-step process of learning how to be a man that can really be influential in your family, in the community, at work, and with Jesus in the center.
All right. This is taking place April 20th, 8 a.m. till noon at Cornerstone. You've teamed up with other churches as part of this as well, right?
Yeah, we teamed up with Pioneer Church and also Prayer and Praise. So Cornerstone, Trinity Church, Prayer and Praise, and then also Pioneer Church are currently our partners. Okay. And who knows, in the next couple of weeks, we might get a couple more partner churches. We have definitely shared it with many, many churches, but those have kind of taken a little bit more and maybe brought announcements, put posters up, and we expect men from at least many of those churches. But I think we're expecting over 100 men to be in the same room together at Cornerstone in their multi-purpose room. So we're excited about that energy. And again, I think some men would go like, man, I don't know if I can do this. And sometimes it takes a moment. So let me give you a real quick example. We had a moment with the young man where his wife said, I don't know if this is going to work at all. And he was nervous about coming completely because he hadn't gone to church. He doesn't know anything about the Bible. And we were able to just, hey, it's okay. We're just going to talk through this, go through this like Pastor Ryan was saying, and we want you to feel comfortable and as you go. And I'll tell you what, I got a text the next morning, and he just said, you made me feel like family. Like I'm at my wit's end with what to do, and what's going on in my own relationship. And this is going to help me to get some good foundations to be a better man, be a better husband, be a better dad.
Very powerful. One of you said there's some homework that can be done prior to.
That is true.
What is that?
Yeah, so each lesson is broken down into main ideas, and so it'll probably take, about a half an hour, 45 minutes a week to prepare for whenever we meet weekly. And so very friendly people.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we like. So you do a little homework. It's not a lot of reading. So I know a lot of guys are not readers. We haven't come up with an audiobook version of this yet, but maybe that's something in the works. Yeah. But it's real doable. And it's just a step-by-step process. So there is homework. Again, when you're developing men, you don't want to lower the bar.
Okay.
Right? It's like athletics. It's like, I want to be a really great athlete. Okay, so do I need to practice? Not so much. Just show up for games. And it's like, nope, that's not really going to accomplish what we want. And so when we're building men, we're not, this is not drill sergeantville, okay? But this is men encouraging men to step up and to do the work together. We sign a commitment, actually, that we're going to be committed to these relationships. And when you commit to a relationship with a few other guys, it's changed my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Registration, we put a link on both of our Facebook pages, our YouTube channel, so people can click on that link. They're going to register for that. Cost breakdown? Is it free? Is it...
There's a suggested donation of $5 to help cover breakfast. It's going to be a really good, tasty, eggy, meaty, breakfasty kind of thing with some rolls and fruit and coffee and orange juice. And it'll be a really good breakfast. Right. For some reason, Baptists know how to do food, I guess. I don't know how that works out. But
hey, take ownership of it. It's fine. Own it. This is 8 a.m. to noon, April 20th, right? April 20th. Link is available there. I'll leave the last question as an open question to both of you. Is there anything else that you want to get as a message over to those that are listening or viewing to get them over the fence to go to an event like this? Erin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's a practical one. When you meet with men, you're having conversations, especially when you're intentional about, well, what does it say in the Bible? I have no idea what it says in the Bible about this, and I've never even opened the Bible. So I think the thing that is very powerful for people to understand is like, here's real life thing that happened. We had a conversation about, man, I'm getting home from work, I'm exhausted, I don't know what to do. And so we're having a real conversation about, well, what's conflicting? And all the guys in the group, and I'm currently leading guys 19 to 32. Okay. Most married. 3 of the 6 have kids, and they figured out like, hey, maybe I should start to plug in. I'm exhausted, but I can help my wife in that moment, in that next half hour to an hour. Help her with some meal prep. Help chase the kids around, and just find that energy. And I'll tell you, one man literally almost he almost was breaking down, said, this was so powerful. I did this. I've tried it over the past week, and my relationship with my wife is completely flipped. And you guys, in the conversation we're having through Every Man a Warrior, has made a huge difference already in my life. And one of the things it says in Ephesians 5:25, which is really cool, we get these verse packs, and these verse packs have little verses on them that we can learn from. It says, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. I mean, how powerful is that, man? Absolutely. If we can give ourselves up to our wives, serve them, take care of them, that's what is happening through Every Man a Warrior.
All right, a very good message there. Same question for you, Pastor Ryan, as we wrap up this morning. What do you want to make sure that the listeners and viewers know?
Yeah, I would say just don't be afraid of taking that step. Really just your family, your friends, everybody's going to benefit from you getting better connected with a few men and God in the middle of that. So it's like, the enemy always likes to lie and say, you're never going to change. You're never going to beat this. You're always going to struggle with this. And it's like, well, I might be struggling now, but put me in a good group with a few good guys who really care about me, who are invested in me and I can invest in. Jesus actually kind of turned the world upside down with just 12 guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great message to end on. If you need any details in regards to Every Man a Warrior, you can find it on our Facebook pages, our YouTube channel as well. The link is there to register and dive into it and get registered and be there 8 a.m. to noon on April 20th. And we'll be telling you more about that. And we have it on the Fridge Magnet program, too, as a reminder and to get closer and closer to that date. Erin, we appreciate you coming in. Pastor Ryan as well. Thank you for taking some time with us this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Yep, it is 8:04 now on 102.7 Mom FM and Hot Country Hits.